Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Yue Eats. I'm Yue, and it's a rainy day here in New York. We're here in the West Village, probably one of the better neighborhoods in New York, if not one of the best neighborhoods. But yeah, I mean, it might be hard to see on the camera, you know, due to lighting, but yeah, it's drizzling, but it's cold and it's rainy, and it might not be the worst weather, but it's not great weather. Yeah, let's just be real, the weather is pretty crummy. It's pretty lame weather right now. But I am here, you know, when it's cold and rainy out. It's very much like a country that we've been to on this channel, the UK. So when it's cold and dreary and rainy out, I'm really craving some British food, and fish and chips really hits the spot when you feel like you're in the UK. And I have a reservation at what everyone's telling me is the best fish and chips in the whole city, a place called Dame. And yeah, it was not easy to get this reservation. I had to reserve several weeks in advance, so hopefully it'll be well worth it. Now, fish and chips seems like such a simple dish, you know, fried fish and, you know, French fried potatoes, but for something seemingly so simple, you'd be surprised how often people just can't quite get it right, especially outside of, you know, especially across the pond and outside of the British Isles. It's kind of like the Philly cheesesteak. I mean, the Philly cheesesteak is also just bread, cheese, grilled onions, maybe one or two other ingredients. But somehow outside of Philly, people also just can't quite get it right. So something about fish and chips in England is just better. England and Scotland and Wales. It could be the water, it could be the fish they're using. I feel like it's not so much that. I feel like it's more so their technique, their mastery of their craft. So anyways, Dame is just down that way. So let's go check it out and get out of the rain. All right, so I am now inside Dame, and it's kind of cool here. Just gonna look behind, you'll see that this place is like a countertop. I got here not long after they opened, so I guess, you know, maybe later on in the evening is when you really need a res. But I gotta say though, from the Chippies that I've been to, usually I'm used to the material here being a little bit more, you know, more of that cheap aluminum countertop, or maybe like faded wood or something. This is some fancy countertop. I don't know, it's a little, as they would say across the pond, it's a little posh, you might say. But let's take a look at the menu. I guess we are in New York, so it is what it is. I just want to show you, the service here is so great. I mentioned to them that I have a shellfish allergy, but I'm usually not too sensitive to cross-contamination, meaning that if it's cooked in the same oil, typically no problem. But they were so nice, they went ahead and they crossed out stuff that's 100% not okay, but I still have a menu here of what, of their full menu. So not a big menu, you know, this is becoming more and more the trend. I mean, the back here are like, you know, libations, alcohols, and beers, and you know, oh, I guess spirit-free. I guess these are like mocktails. But yeah, like cocktails and whatnot. And then all of your items are here. So yeah, grilled oysters, that's a no-go for me. But squid, skewers, that sounds good. I hear great things. A friend of mine, he recommended this spot, and he recommended the smoked whitefish croquettes. He says he hears those are pretty good. Uni definitely is a no-go, probably, I think. Oh, no, scallops for sure. I definitely can't eat scallops. And then these are some other, you know, these are some other apps, but yeah, I mean, everything here looks good, but I don't know, guys. I mean, where's all my British staples? Where's my beans on toast, chip buddy, a French fry sandwich? You know, where's all my amazing bland British staples? No, I'm just kidding. I actually think British food is quite good, and people tend to cherry pick the less good items. I mean, you could do that with any culture, in my opinion. But we'll scroll down here. I think we're gonna get maybe two of the apps. I'm thinking maybe the squid skewers and maybe the whitefish croquettes. Those sound pretty good. Yeah, curry crab is probably not on the menu for me. But yeah, they got proper English chips, and to clarify for you guys, a lot of people think that chips and fries are interchangeable, but they're not. Chips are definitely thicker. Sometimes they're like boiled first so that they're more like soft on the inside, like not so dry. They tend to be thicker and cut thicker, and they're like a different thing. You'll see. There's a fish and chips, and oh my goodness, that is quite expensive. That must be a recent markup, hence why it's like literally stamped onto the menu. Pretty much 30 bucks for fish and chips. You could get this across the pond for like a fraction literally of that. But I mean, we are in New York, and they say this is the best fish and chips in New York, so we gotta try it. And you guys know that I love sticky toffee pudding. and maybe we'll end the night with that. So let's order. All right, so I'm gonna go with the fish and chips.
Fish and chips?
Yeah, the squid and the whitefish croquettes, yep.
Yeah, so I have skewers, croquettes, and then 2 fish and chips. Anything else for you?
That's it.
Great.
Thank you.
Take this menus for you.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, so we got our first app. These are smoked whitefish croquettes, and I love croquettes. You know, I mean, how could you not? They're just fried balls with something amazing in the middle, whether it's meat or cheese or something. So let's dig into course number 1. Looks delicious. All right, let's grab, oops. Will it be, oops. Oh, it's gonna be hard to grab with a fork, so I'm just gonna grab these with my, my natural eating utensils, my hands, mis manos. So, all right, bon appetit. Oh, well, it's hot on the inside. Ooh. Wow, these are incredible. Let me show you closer up. They're definitely chock full of whitefish. Like, that's all whitefish on the inside. So many times you go to restaurants and they cheat. Like, they say there's meat or fish on the inside and they just give you like a tiny bit, and then it's pretty much just, you're just eating a bunch of dough. But no, the dough is crunchy. It's super whitefishy on the inside. The whitefish flavor is super fresh, super salty, super delicious, and it definitely tastes really fresh. And my only concern with this is that I worry this will be too much to the flavor profile from the fish and chips later. But it's okay. I mean, they're delicious. That's all I care about. I love that they're just so generous with the whitefish on the inside. Like, these kind of remind me of, have you guys ever had the Japanese street food takoyaki? I love takoyaki, but I hate that they just give you like the tiniest bit of octopus on the inside. They just give you like the tiniest bit of octopus on the inside sometimes. Like, literally like half the size of my pinky nail. But in this case, they're not doing that. They're not skimping on that. So let's try it with the marinara sauce. Give this a try. The marinara sauce actually helps a ton. Like, I was afraid it was gonna cover up the flavor of the fresh whitefish, the salty whitefish on the inside, but it doesn't. Like, it kind of pairs with it. It kind of offsets the saltiness, the fishiness. So yeah, I mean, in this case, it really works. So I recommend dipping it in the marinara sauce. But anyways, our second app has arrived. All right, these are squid and scallion skewers, and they're served in a bed of, I think, olive oil, I think is what this is. Wow, these look absolutely delicious. Like that, I think it's like some sort of pesto sauce on it or something. Thank goodness I can eat squid and I'm not allergic to that. So let's dig in to one of these. Wow, I mean, we're off to a great start. 2 out of 2, those are both big hits. I mean, to be honest, I'm actually not sure if the olive oil is necessary. Like, it kind of makes it oily and kind of wet and drippy, but I guess there's a method to the madness. Maybe it pairs with everything in the background. But again, this squid is so fresh, it's so soft. Too often, squid is like really rubbery. In this case, it's not rubbery at all. It's like really soft. It's not like eating like erasers, like poked with like a chopstick or something. Like, let me see if I can show you. Just look at how, yeah, see, just look at how soft this squid is. It is not, yeah, it is, just take my word for it. It is just so soft. And that sauce, whatever that sauce is, you know, I think it's like a pesto sauce or something. It really pairs with it. And I would normally say that I feel like it's covering up like the charcoal flavor of the squid. Like, I saw them cooking it and it looked like it was being infused with some great smoke flavor. But I don't know, that everything just pairs together. Like, the sauce makes it taste kind of like it adds acid, it makes it kind of citrusy, almost like a fresh lime flavor, and the scallions in between each bite too. You know, like adding some like break between like the squid, you know, not making the whole thing too protein heavy, like really balancing out the whole skewer. Wow, delicious. And I love too that those scallions are like slightly charred, you know, adding like some crispy texture. Mm. 2 for 2 so far. Maybe the fish and chips will be 3 for 3. That's kind of cool. Thank you. Wow, holy moly. All right, guys, this is one of the most humongous fish and chips I've ever seen in my life. And I've had fish and chips all over America, the UK. I've had quite many fish and chips, and this is hands down the biggest fish and chips I've ever seen, unless I just haven't been traveled enough in the UK. Just gonna bring this into some better light, but just check out how humongous this is. I'm guessing this is cod. I'm guessing this is either cod or haddock, but whatever it is, this looks like this batter just looks unreal. I mean, just look. It looks thick and crispy at the same time. And these chips, like I said, they're authentic British English chips. Nice and thick, hopefully nice and soft on the inside. Tartar sauce as well, although they also gave me a lemon. Some places do either or. Wow, this looks absolutely delicious, and I'm just gonna dive right in. All right, look, it's even like a, you know, I can't get it on my plate without it coming into the shot, so let's dive in. All right, let's cut off a piece of this. Why don't we? Yeah, this breading is unbelievably crispy, guys. Oh, I can't pick it up. It's falling apart. Better use, good thing I still have my spoon. Let's try a bite. All right, a bite of the fish and chips. Oh. Oh, that is unreal, that. Okay, it was expensive. I mean, it was 29 bones, but I don't know. I mean, oh, whether it's worth it or not, I'll think about later, but that was hands down one of the best fish and chips I've had in my whole life, like any continent. Wow. It is just so incredibly like flaky and crispy, and you know, like it's not just crispy. It's not like I'm just eating like a, you know, like a chicken tender with just fish on the inside. Like it's beautifully flaky. Look. Beautifully flaky, like almost reminds me of, I don't know how to explain it, like kind of like do you guys know what like bonito flakes are? Like those Japanese bonito flakes? That flakiness in bonito flake texture combined with like corn flakes, because it's like delicate and crispy at the same time. It's unreal. Oh, check this out. That fish is just perfectly moist and flaky on the inside, and I do think it is cod. It's flaky and moist on the inside, crunchy, crispy on the outside, but you know, a little oily, but not too oily. And let me see if I can show you. Just look at, wow, look at the inside of that fish. Look at how beautifully cooked that is. Look at how flaky it is. It's like cooked perfectly. It's flaking apart and it's moist. And I think they brined that cod in advance, so it's not bland. Like it kind of has like a nice brine flavor. Wow. Let's try it with some tartar sauce. The tartar sauce is good, but I'll be honest, while it tastes fresh and it tastes like a good tartar sauce, it kind of just tastes like tartar sauce, and I think it kind of covers up the rest of the fish and chips and what I like about it. You know, like that fresh fish, and flaky batter. So yeah, it's a good tartar sauce for sure, but you know, I would dip less of the tartar sauce. In fact, I might complement this fish and chips with other stuff, like this lemon, yeah, and some malt vinegar. All right, I managed to get that on the spoon. Actually, same as the tartar sauce. I like that batter and that fish so much. I think this vinegar and that lemon is covering it up. So if it's your thing, go ahead, but you know, you're paying 29 bucks for this. I don't know if you necessarily want to do that. If anything, maybe some salt, but no more than that, in my opinion. But you know, you do you. And of course, let's try one of our thick cut British chips. Cheers, guys. Let me show you. These are some great, proper British chips. They're like potato wedges. Like they're more similar to potato wedges back in the US. Or no, not back in the US. they're more similar to potato wedges in the US. And they're crispy on the outside and nice and, you know, fluffy on the inside. If you like a real crispy chip, you'll like this. Like, they're not completely like that mashed potato texture on the inside. They're a little bit like a cooked potato, like a baked potato that's kind of mushed around. You know, it's not the same thing, believe me. Very, very, very good. Although they could use some seasoning, but we'll rectify that with the malt vinegar. Pretty good, delicious. I guess I will concede that maybe the chips could be a little bit more fluffy on the inside. I guess they are a little bit, you know, a little bit less, they are a little bit not fluffy enough in some parts. But in terms of seasoning, the vinegar did the trick. Although I think maybe I'll ask them for some salt. Some salt would really lift this for sure. But guys, this is a fantastic meal. I mean, whether this is worth like almost 30 bucks, I'm not sure. I'll let you guys be the judge of that. I would say the price is a little bit high, but you're definitely getting a fantastic product. Let me put it that way. I think this would be incredible. This would be popular even in the UK for sure. It's that good. So I'm gonna finish eating this, and you know, if we have any appetite left, we might try that sticky toffee pudding. So stay tuned. All right, guys, this is the last thing we're gonna review today. This is the sticky toffee pudding, and this looks fantastic. I mean, it looks like wow. I mean, I did not expect it to be so long, like so rectangular, I meant. Is it just me, or does this kind of look like a hunk of meat? Like, it looks like a steak, right? Like a French steak with like red wine sauce or something, or like a steak like genetically fused with like a piece of Spam or something. I don't know. It looks different than sticky toffee puddings I've had. Of course, it's got some nice vanilla ice cream on top, I presume, so we should eat it before it melts. So let's dig in. Wow, baby. It's really good. My favorite sticky toffee pudding so far, believe it or not. You know, I'm being honest. My favorite sticky toffee pudding right now is still the Gordon Ramsay one at his restaurants. So if you ever go to like Vegas or Atlantic City, or I think his restaurants in the UK will serve it too, you definitely gotta eat one. Trust me, it's worth it. But I still like Gordon's more because I feel like Gordon's is just softer. Like, I like the texture. This one, like, the outside is a little bit crispy, a little bit crunchy, but the flavor is unbelievable. Like, the sauce is not too sweet. Like, it's not too like caramelly. The whole thing is well spiced. I guess one complaint I have is that it's a little too hot. Like, I wish that they had let it cool down a bit before putting the ice cream on top of it. It was a little hot in my mouth, but it's like the perfect balance of sweetness and spices, and oh man, besides the texture being slightly crunchy, it's great. Let's try a piece with the ice cream the way it should be eaten. And the ice cream and the sticky toffee together as it's intended to be. Okay, so this is just my opinion. I'm sure other people will have different tastes and different preferences, but I'm not a big fan of the ice cream, to be honest. Well, actually, I'm calling it ice cream, but I don't think that's ice cream at all. Like, it's not really cold, it's some sort of cream. It might be yogurt or some sort of cream, like a sour cream or like a creme fraiche or something. But yeah, it's not cold and it's a little bit sour, but to be honest, I wish it were ice cream, because I feel like the ice cream, you know, the cold ice cream and the sweet ice cream would have paired more with the sticky toffee pudding. It really needs some sweetness to pair with it, especially since you might not be able to see, but there are some pieces of sea salt in it, which adds some nice saltiness to the sweetness, which are really welcome. But this is kind of like sour, so yeah, I really don't think it works, but that's just my opinion. I'm sure lots of people love this. But anyways, all in all, a great dessert. It was definitely worth the wait. They said that it takes 15 minutes to make because they have to bake it. And it was definitely worth trying. Definitely one of the better sticky toffee puddings I've had. And definitely one of the better fish and chips I've had, if not some of the best fish and chips I've had. I mean, they were delicious and very, very filling. I mean, 29 bucks, but I don't know, I did not finish the whole thing because the chips were huge. Like, I was not able to finish the whole thing just because it was so starchy and filling. And those apps were all great. Like, all the apps that we ate were delicious. So all in all, I gotta say, guys, I mean, it might not be cheap, but Dame, definitely pretty good, definitely lived up to the hype, I thought. Difficult to get a reservation, But if you can get a res, I definitely think it's worth trying because, yeah, I think I'll definitely be back. It's definitely, you know, not even best fish and chips in New York City, in America. I really do think that if this place were in the UK, I really do think that it would be popular. It was really, really good. It would really go toe-to-toe with good fish and chips across the pond. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this vid. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And if you've been to Dame before, let me know in the comments, or if you have fish and chips places that you want to recommend in New York, in the US, anywhere in the world, Canada, and especially in the UK, if I make another trip out there, let me know in the comments because great minds eat alike. And as always, if you like my vids, like and subscribe. That way you stay up to date whenever I post another video. And until next time, I'll see you later.